Welcome everyone. This is the Narrative Podcast, home of original people, positivity, and reciprocity. And I am your host, Halsey Allen. Hello and welcome all my narrators. Welcome everyone that is new to my podcast, to my platform, and just, popped up on a random scroll. Well, hate to disappoint you, but it wasn't random. If you're listening to me now, it was meant to be. You could be anywhere in the world this evening, but you're rocking with me here on the Narrative Podcast. All right, so my narrators, they already know the drill, who I am and what I do here on this platform. But for the new people, I'll just give you a brief rundown of, my platform, what I'm trying to accomplish here, and why I'm doing it. So first and foremost, it's called the Narrative Podcast. It's called the Narrative Podcast for a reason, because I feel, in my opinion, that the powers that be and just American culture and world culture depicts our people in a negative light and benefits off of our suffering. And it's just beneficial for them to, keep a certain image of us circulating, or, a negative stereotype or a negative stigma. So on my platform, what I wanted to do to combat these false narratives is just create a space where I'm sharing positive information about our people and our culture. So that's basically the Narrative Podcast experience in a nutshell. I'm sharing positive frames of reference. I'm telling our stories from our perspective on our own terms and conditions. Because if history has taught us nothing else, if you do not tell your story, you will have your story told for you. And the story they're telling about us is, an accurate one and an evil one. So I want to just, put us in the most positive light as possible and making us look like the gods and goddesses we are, and highlighting and showcasing our strengths and, dispelling all these negative stereotypes and stigmas that they try to place upon us. So, in a full broadcast day, I have a format, and my podcast is divided into sections, and each section has a speaking point. But when I do my random lives, what I'm doing is just basically sharing articles that caught my radar, stories I find most interesting and uplifting and empowering. So I share those, and after that, I deliver some brief commentary about, current issues, current affairs, or just something on my mind that I feel pertains to us as a people. So that's what I'll be doing this evening, is just sharing positive articles and delivering these positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. Um, and then after I'm delivering the articles for my new people, I'm going to break down my format, then go into my commentary, and then leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. All right. Before I get started, I would just like to do a disclaimer or an apology. See, I'm broadcasting live right now, but when I go to share it back on all my platforms, this podcast is monetized. So, when I share it back on all platforms, I'm apologizing in advance for the ad rolls. I don't know when they'll occur. They might occur during mid-speech. But right now, I'm broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitter because that's the way this platform that I'm on is configured. It just, when I go live, it automatically broadcasts to my YouTube viewer page or my Twitter page. So if you're listening to me live on YouTube right now, or, if I got you on my Facebook and you see I'm live, but if you're listening to me anywhere you're getting your podcast from, you can also go to my YouTube viewer page and click subscribe and click your notifications so you never miss a live. And it's Halsey Allen on YouTube, and it's also Halsey Allen on Twitter. So you never miss a random live, because these lives are random days. I never know what day, what time. It seems like it's the same time and day all the time, but it's not. So I never know which days I'm going to go live. So to avoid missing me when I'm live, go to my YouTube or my Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, Halsey Allen, or subscribe to me on YouTube, my viewer page. I don't have a page configured just exclusively for the Narrative Podcast. I will at some point, as my platform keeps growing as it is right now. It's continuing to grow. I'm getting more listeners. And by the way, thanks to everyone that has downloaded, all the episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Thank you. I know I'm sending shockwaves with my message and what I'm trying to do. And my overall takeaway that I want all my listeners to do is just basically share positive content. All these negative stereotypes are perception, contrived perception at that. So, they just perceive us a certain way by the content that we share. So people outside of our culture didn't grow up around us, don't know any of us. They're just going to go off what they hear in the music, what they see on television, and, not look for the true nature of our people. So it's not really our job to educate them or enlighten them, but I feel we can make a big, huge difference if we share positive content on all our platforms. Like, you're a grown man, you're a grown woman, you can post whatever you like on your platform, but just know, whatever you post is a reflection of you. So if you're always posting gang culture, guess what? Somebody outside of your culture is going to assume you're a gangbanger or assume that you condone, gang culture, what goes on inside of it, the parameters of it, the negative side. So sidebar, before I go too far deep down that rabbit hole, I just want to say, far as like in America, gang culture, original people, and that's another thing, new people. On my platform, I don't say black, I say original. I just recently had an epiphany about the word black and all the negative connotation surrounding that, and the metaphysical properties it releases when you say it. So, what cannot ever be refuted or argued is who was here first. We was here first. We are the original everything. So there was not one corner of the globe we did not inhabit. There was not one, civilization that we didn't civilize. We taught everybody to do everything, but yet we're left out of the history books. We're often regarded as, the thrown away scraps in places like Latin America. They treat, dark-skinned Latins really bad. Their deep African roots. Anybody resembling, original people that can trace their lineage back to Africa get done badly worldwide. So, that's why I say original people. That cuts through all of that, because all these people outside of our culture, they all lump us in as one. They don't say, when they get angry, they don't say, oh, y'all stupid Jamaicans, all y'all stupid, wherever, Afro-Latinos, they just say you N-words. And that's just a broad, generalized statement that covers everybody. They don't say you stupid FBAs, you know what I mean? So, like, when you say original people, that's just like, it speaks volumes. It's all inclusive. It means anybody that has melanin. And, that's just how we need to start uniting like Voltron and not trip over, cultural differences and, just really be there for each other and help get this liberation thing popping. Because we all living in bondage, no matter, what side of the globe you're on, you're living in some sort of bondage as an original person. Like, you're getting the short end of the stick. From our perspective, you might have it better than us, but from your perspective, we might have it better than y'all. But, from people outside of our culture, we're all, less than. So we need to start uniting, and I think by saying, accepting that we are original people, that can kind of help cement and gel that relationship we need and stop all this division amongst us. Because that's the only way we're going to reclaim what was stolen from us and taken from us and get back to our original status in this world. But anyway, I didn't mean to get too long-winded about the whole original man, original woman thing. I want to dive into these articles and, change the atmosphere. And, after that, run down my format for my regular broadcast day and deliver some commentary that I had on my mind. Okay. So, first article. The headline reads, Group of Black Doctors open first Black-owned urgent care center and on the south side of Chicago. The name of the clinic is called Premier Urgent Care and Occupational Clinic. And the four gentlemen that originated this clinic was Dr. Michael McGee, Dr. Arian Richards, Dr. Gregory Primus, Dr. Reuben C. Rutland. And the physical address is 1301 East 47th Street, building in Chicago, Illinois. I'm not making it up, that's how it read. Building, Chicago, Illinois. Anyway, so they basically created the clinic amid this pandemic because we weren't getting seen. They tried to sweep us under the rug, and they started that clinic to get our basic medical needs met. In that clinic, they also, do some, well, nothing's new under the sun, but it's often referred to new age healing techniques. So, they cater to all types of religion and spiritual practices at that clinic. So, like, if you're Christian, got Christian values, they have people to, pray for you, read Bible verse, pray for you. Islam. They also do, like Reiki healing and mindful breathing and all that stuff. So they got a special in each, whatever spiritual practice that you subscribe to, they got that at that clinic. So it's definitely worth checking out. And, I mean, it's kind of hard to like plug a hospital because you don't want to go. I don't want you to be sick to go, but like if you got to go and you're in Chicago, and definitely check that out. All right, so next article. I think I know something. Hold on. Oh, wow, guys. I had like 4 or 5 articles. Okay, here it goes. Pages got stuff together. Silly head. I'm like, well, darn, I know I took my notes. All right, I don't know what that was about. Okay, so next article, the headline reads, 25-year-old Darren, and I'm hoping I'm saying the brother's last name correctly. He's across the pond over in London. So Darren Tengorg, Toring, Tenkorang, just started his own Uber-like barber business. And the name of the business is called Trimit. He founded it in 2018 after winning 10,000 euros. I don't know what the exchange rated on that is. In a business competition, something similar to what we have over here in the States, Shark Tank. So they had a Shark Tank type situation and won 10 stackaroos. Trimit operates in all parts of London and aims to expand its service outside of the capital. And that's really kind of all the article had on that. I think that is most innovative. I can't say I haven't heard of that before. I mean, I done seen brothers have Cadillacs. They do barber like a hop up on you, back in the day, way back in the two-way pager days. Got the whole like barber setup. So I can't really stamp it as original. I've heard of ideas like that. So ain't nothing new under the sun. I guess it's just changing the game with the GPS, and it can just like pull up on you. I'm guessing it's like you can go to the App Store or the Apple Store and just like download the app, and it'll pull up on you and edge you up. I'm guessing. But anyway, definitely innovative. And just a monument that, we can do anything when we sit down and think, when we just sit down and think and plan it out. Because the narrative is like we cannot solve our own problems, and, we're heavily dependent upon our governments, and we want them to solve it for us. But got brothers like that doing innovative things like his business, you know, created a supply and demand business. Everybody wants to, look good, especially our people, because we descend from royalty. We always want to look our best. But anyway, on to the next article. The headline reads, Prodigy from Maryland dominating the pool table. And the young brother's name is, he said 11-year-old Prodigy. The young brother's name is D'Angelo Spain. His pool hustle name is Jaws. His dad named him that because he said he was just eating up all his competition. So he's like, really sturdy with the stick. Pause. Pool is like a strategic type of game. I try not to ever, when I come across articles, I intentionally try to steer away from, stories about athletic achievements because, that's a stereotype within itself. Like all we know how to do is entertainment and sports. I try to really share entrepreneurial stories and stories about scholastics or people inventing stuff or creating a business. But I picked that story because he's 11 years old. Pool is a very challenging sport. I don't think people really understand how complex it is because you got to get the angles correct, and it's not a game of chance. You really have to have a certain skill set to be good at pool. You can't. I mean, there are naturals, just people that are naturally good at pool, but you do, it does require some cerebral activity. You got to know where your next move is. You got to angle it and just put the right amount of force on that ball to sink it into that hole. So, at his age, he figured that out. So I think that was noteworthy and I wanted to share it. Okay. Next article, the headline reads, Husband and wife are making history by creating the first ever Black-owned animation network. So I told y'all I try not to say black on my platform, but if it's in the article, I'm going to say it. That is dope. So an original people version of Cartoon Network. So husband and wife, Jermaine and Wakita Hardgrove, called Animation TV, the Animation Network, and it will be the first and only animation streaming platform that streams all aspects of animation culture. Currently, what they got in the works, something titled Diabetic Superhero. It's a movie, and I believe another one they got is, or maybe that's the I don't know. Because it says superhero movie, Diabetic, but I don't know if it's a movie or a series, but it's titled, the next line is called Gum Shi, the Type 1 Protector. So I don't know if that's the entire title or not, but yeah, I guess that's the title of the movie, Gum Shi, the Type 1 Protector. So a movie about a superhero who is diabetic. I gotta say I don't know how to feel about that one, but that's great that they got a streaming network. And then if you don't like that one, you're into religion. They got some faith-based stuff for you. Series called The Sunday Schoolers, and they have an original just for that network. Animate My Life. So I guess that's like a kind of reality show. I don't know. You have to just tune in and check it out. And welcome to Game Review. So that's cool if you like playing video games. If your children are into video games, I don't know any child that's not into video games. I don't know too many adults these days that ain't into video games. Like, probably check that out. Princess Tayenda and Shelly, the Dancing Spider. That's all they have on their roster, or at least all, they put that I came across in this article that was on their roster, but definitely support that. Again, that's one way we can take the power back by, monitoring what our children is taking in, because they're, like the Disney network, they're changing the narrative by pushing these agendas and just, really trying it with our children. They're just like quietly saying things without really coming out and saying them. So that's nice that that we're getting options on the table about, like positive self-images, and we need to like watch that. So anytime an original person comes out with a cartoon series or a learning type of activity visually, you should like definitely support that, because you're taking a huge chance with, these images they're putting on television. Like, it's just so much wrongness, and I'll leave it there. Like, not enough inclusion, definitely not a whole lot telling our stories. So, to have a whole streaming network dedicated to us, that's definitely a positive thing. Do I have one more? Well, land sakes, guys, I thought I had one more, but it looks like that was my final article this evening. So, having said that, staying true to what I just said, for my new people, I will break down, the narrative podcast experience, what you would experience. I do these every single weekend. I only go live randomly. I don't know what days I'm going to go live. I try to keep my lives super short, super brief, and to the point, concise, because I want my content to resonate with you. And that's specifically why I included speaking points, why I broke my podcast up into sections. And then I got a speaking point for each section. So I try to keep them under an hour, because in my opinion, if you talking more than an hour without like any speaking points, you're just ranting. So you're not podcasting, you got a glorified rant. And that's not my intent. I want my content to resonate with my listeners, and I want to inspire people to share positive content about our people and our culture. It is so necessary to put those positive frames of reference out about us, because, people would just keep on just manipulating and pushing agendas and, having us out here looking and sounding crazy. Have us out here looking and sounding like savages or lazy people or stupid people. And we're none of that. We are, great intellectual learners, planners, builders, educators, scientists, We the cream of the crop. Not saying we're superior to anybody, but we are top tier. Like, we do it. We set the precedent for pretty much everybody on the planet. Everybody follows our lead or attempts to follow our lead. And the lead that they're following right now is these distorted images of us. So we got to take our power back and share positive content. So if you're going to tell our story, tell it right. You feel me? All right. So basically, this is how, a full broadcast of the Narrative podcast will start. First, I start by extending the olive branch to any original people that own or operate their own business. And my methodology behind that is to help keep the original people dollar circulating in the original people community, plug in business. So that's what I'm hoping to do in that section, like open the dialogue. I want you to, the people I promote, when they reach out to me, include all the information. If you got a brick and mortar location, the address, directions, hours of operation, all that good stuff, so I can deliver a good quality drop for you to get you some business. Email address, phone number, a little bit about yourself, your own personal background, because the consumer wants to know, where they're getting their product. They want to establish some type of familiarity with the brand. They want to know, like, who am I buying my stuff from? Like, what's this, person's background? Who are they? Where they're from? Where they went to school? Why this brand? Why did you decide to sell this? So that's, the more specific you are, the better the promotion will be. And I'm not going to give out my email address on my live, but because I got over 100 episodes in, so you can go listen to some content that I already got recorded to get the information on how to get the free promotion from me. And then in my next section, I'm doing a promotional contest just exclusively for this podcast, the Narrative Podcast. I call it the Chew on This contest. And the purpose behind that is just to give people that have been supporting me since day one incentive to keep on supporting me, and as well as welcome new listeners, give them some incentive to support me by offering them, a free prize just for participating in, a topic. And in that particular contest, the topic is Shopping While Black. I want you to share your most recent Shopping While Black experience, and then along with your mailing address, what type of snack you want. And again, same email address. Go listen to all my previously recorded episodes and find out how to enter the Chew on This. And the prize is a bulk supply of your favorite snack. So I need to know what type of snack you want as well, so I can, facilitate your order. And also, it serves as just, listener interaction, crowd participation, if you will. Just, people letting me know that they're listening to me. Because if you enter the contest, I know you must be listening, so you're going to get some. And then if you get some, you'll probably tell more people. And, that's how the platform grows. Word of mouth, you know what I mean? All right. Then my next section is actually the meat of the podcast. This is the core content. The Oh, geez. What is the section called? The highlight section, excuse me. Just had a brain fart. The next section is called the highlight section, and what I'm doing in that section is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. And the purpose of me highlighting those businesses is to, showcase entrepreneurialism, put out that positive frame of reference. Because the types of business owners that I highlighted was just like normal people. They got sick and tired of being sick and tired, so they decided to do for self. Just place faith in God and their vision, and just went forth and just opened their business. So all the business owners, they got little to no educational background or nothing that aligns up with the business that they started. The businesses that they started, was like a passion. I want to do this, and they figured out a way to do it. And for the ones that do have, extensive educational background, it didn't necessarily mesh or, go with the field of, business that they went into. So, their college experience wasn't a total waste, but it didn't like necessarily align with what they're doing now. So, just basically like regular people figuring it out. That's what I want the overall takeaway from the highlight section to be. Some other qualifying factors that I use to highlight the business is they're owned and operated by original people. They hire their own. They pay into a nonprofit organization, or they have their own nonprofit organization. And they either they also sponsor events or do something community based. The company does something to, give back to the community in which it's rooted in. That's key. Because nobody's going to help us but us. So, it's cool to open your own business, but if you got that me and my mentality, it's not going to be prosperous for very long. I mean, you might get your money on, you might move out the hood and get you a townhouse or a mansion or whatever, but if you ain't giving back to your people, if you're living your people on stuff, you just building a house of cards is going to collapse on you in some facet or another, because this is war. Make no mistake, this is war we're in right now. You cannot buy your way out of this, what's going on. You can't buy your way out of it. They'll come for you in Calabasas. They'll come for you on your compound when they get ready to. That little loft you got in Soho, that's not going to save you from this white supremacy agenda. Those G4s ain't going to save you. Those 5-star hotels and those Michelin star restaurants, none of that's going to save you. Like, this agenda is in full swing. They're going to come for you when they get ready. Okay, so after and then my final qualifying factor that I look for when I'm, promoting the highlight section is, do these business align with my current theme? And my current theme right now is the season of fall. So, yeah. So giving back, hiring their own, and aligning with my theme. That's the key points that I focus on when I'm doing the highlight section. Now, my next section is the spotlight section. In that section, what I do is spotlight a prominent figure. And it's usually someone in the entertainment industry. It's usually like a recording artist, an athlete, a comedian, an actor or actress, producer, writer, public figure, uh, entrepreneur, just anybody in the in the scope of entertainment. Um, and the types of people that I spotlight is just people that either speak on the cause or lend their resources for the cause. Like they unapologetically use their platforms to speak on what we're going through, and or just the way they carry and conduct themselves to be an example, something to shoot for. So, a beacon or a symbol, if you will, the way they carry and conduct themselves. I was about to say hope, but I'm trying to exit that word out of my vocabulary as well, because, there's just something esoteric about the word hope as well. And that has a negative connotation on the psyche. So you should definitely try to, X hope out of your vocabulary, especially for original people. Do I got some time? Yeah, I got a couple minutes. I think Bubba Dick Gregory said it the best. I'm gonna try to punch him up. He can deliver it more articulately than I can about why not to say hope. Let me see if I can get it. And by the way, I don't own the rights. I'm just trying to punch something up on YouTube, so you can just see I'm not pulling stuff up my behind. Okay, let me see.
That's what it's called. That's this.
Well, that's true.
Ain't no hope around here. I'm fucking hope, man. Hope you gonna pay your goddamn rent. Hope your car work. Come on, man. Ain't but bullshit.
I'm just saying. I think a lot of black people are being brainwashed.
It ain't got nothing to do with them.
Okay.
And here, if you say I'd like to go to Paris this year, but I can't afford, you just told 75 trillion cells to see to you don't get to Paris. That's who you are. And when you find that out, when they told me I had the worst cancer you can find, I told my son, I said, don't show that to your mother, because after your sister get mad. So I gave her the report. But they do this. I said, Bill, you better get out of here. You think I'm leaving this pussy here again for your high school sweetheart? You out your mind. I ain't going nowhere. I know I'm not going nowhere. If you hope don't work. You never heard no rich, powerful motherfucker say hope. Hope I'll win the war. What a fool. The real folks know they're going to win the war before they start, except they don't count in the universe.
Well, there you go, hope. So something to think about omitting out of your vocabulary. So anyway, as I was saying, the spotlight section, just people that live an inspirational life, are beacons and symbols, and conduct themselves in a certain manner to inspire excellence. Also unapologetic about speaking on our issues on any platforms, using whatever resources they have available to, further the cause. And then a sidebar that I just got to keep on throwing up in there until y'all get it. Well, y'all already get it through your heads, because it's like I'm sending shockwaves all over the internet with it. And I know for a fact I am, because before I started the spotlight section on my platform, nobody on the internet, nowhere, was spotlighting anyone. So, this internet makes the world really small. You can go back and listen to all my episodes right when I do your own comparison test. Go back in my catalog, listen to all my previously recorded episodes, like right when I start doing the spotlight, and then like just do your little Google searches. Who is doing it? Nobody. And that's a fact. I mean, with respect to the drink champs, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they just focus on just the hip hop genre. I'm talking about all our people. With respect to, LL Cool J's Rock the Bells, again, focuses only on hip hop. I'm talking about all genres, all our people, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of people I spotlight in the spotlight section. But as the old saying goes, imitation is the best form of flattery. So I'm sitting back looking at all these people doing spotlight sections now. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so after I'm done with the spotlight section, I go on to my health and wellness section. And in my health and wellness section, what I'm doing is offering health tips and health tips just to stay healthy and promote the active, healthy, fit lifestyle. Talk about total body wellness. It's usually like the health benefits of fruits, veggie, herb, plants, root, extract, elixir, or, some type of physical exercise you can do to maintain your vitality, such as yoga or, weightlifting or whatever, running, jogging, walking, whatever, for physical activity. I talk about the metaphysical stuff, spirituality, like mindful breathing, meditation, just basically anything you can do to, fortify and maintain your immune system because, again, the way they have weaponized the media against us, they constantly will bombard us with all this negativity about us, our people, our culture, that can tend to, overwhelm the senses. And when that happens, the first thing that happens is, your immune system weakens. And that leaves you open for, all these airborne pathogens, this little invisible little thing to shut us down for a couple years that opens you up for that to creep in. Not to mention all these, sinister concoctions they keep on putting in our air, our food, our water, our cosmetics, our cleaning products that specifically target unique strands in our cellular structure and genetic makeup of original people. These sick SOBs is trying to get us up off this planet. So, it's a must that we stay in total body fitness. Like anything you can do to, strengthen your mind and your body, you need to be doing it right now. So we gotta, put clean food into our body. We gotta put positive thoughts in our mind and healing in our spirits. And that's what I offer in that section. So after the health and wellness section, I go on to my speaking point of the day. My speaking point of the day is usually, something current, trending, current affairs, current issues. I attack that from the perspective of our perspective, how it pertains to us, how it relates to us. I also cover, things just specifically happening in our community, things that's going on with us. And I unpack it again from our perspectives because, again, what I'm doing in that section is controlling the narrative. I'm controlling it. They flip it, I control it. So, because they have us looking and sounding all kind of crazy. So, when like current issues like arise, I put it in our perspective. On the days when I don't have, like a current issue to talk about, just something on my mind as it relates to us as a people as a whole, I might, just free ball and talk about something like that. Next, after that is my final thought of the day. And my final thought of the day is just usually a gem, a pearl of wisdom, something that will evoke and inspire critical thinking, just something to put on your mind to be like, I never thought about it like that. Oh yeah. Just some wise words to leave you with. And then close out, and let you know to support my platform, to download all the previously recorded episodes on my platform so I can keep growing the platform, giving you better content, getting guests, improving the audio quality of my content, and just giving you a better podcast experience. So encouraging you to download all episodes of the Narrative Podcast, and then I also plug my personal poetry blog, which I probably do after I'm done with my speaking point of the day for this live edition. And bam, there you have it, the Narrative Podcast in total. That's the whole broadcast day. Again, I try to keep it under an hour. I just want it relatable. I just want it concise and to, stick with you and inspire you to apply all the content that you hear on my platform into your life, into the atmosphere, into the internet, into the blogosphere, you know what I mean? Because we have to change the narrative. That's why I call all my listeners my narrators. We have the power to change the narrative. We walk around with these handheld devices all day, just taking pictures and selfies and video screenshot and stuff. So we are content creators in that respect. So we can control the narrative to some small capacity, because the powers that be, they're always going to flip the narrative to line up with their agenda they got for us, which is nothing. They don't want us to be anything. They want to eradicate us. They want to subjugate us. They don't want us to, rise back up to our former prominence that we had on this planet before their influence. So yeah, that's the Narrative Podcast experience in a whole, and I hope you check that out this weekend. So now, it's not really something like, before I dive into that, I just want to, I don't think I did a good job on clarifying my points when I was talking about PNB Rock, his death, because I think I go back and listen to myself as a content creator. I also go back and listen to my own episodes. So for number one, when I was recording, I was having technical difficulties. I don't know what I did, but something happened. I don't know. I messed something up, and I had to actually switch devices because it just stopped. My live signal would just stop. I don't know what I hit, but so that was that. I had to break it down into a two-part episode, when I shared it back on all platforms. But during them live, the signal just kind of went out. So there was that. And, It's just like it seemed like I was uninformed because I wasn't touching on certain topics. I intentionally not touched on it. So I already know he got killed at the Waffle House. I already know, they was speculating his girlfriend might have dropped the Addy. I already know it also happened into, the people that own that particular Waffle House was, it's rumored, it's said. So I don't know, it can't be confirmed nor denied, but it's often said in LA that, the people that own that establishment are affiliated with the street gang Crips. So there's that element. And I stayed away from all that because my main thing, what I was trying to focus on, what I was trying to get at was, it's not always the city's fault. It's not always, every time one of these young rappers die, you can't always blame the city. Like you can't always, all the time, you can't always blame Chicago. You can't always blame Texas. You can't always blame LA. You can't always blame New Orleans when these guys die. You can't always blame them having jury. You can't always blame, street politics or gang culture. It's not that all the time. It's not that all the time. It's not. It's like we're so ingrained. It's so ingrained in us to just go for that, to gravitate for that easy answer. And we'll dismiss something that makes sense, that challenges our intellect. Let's think about it from this perspective. Then you're talking crazy. Then you're a conspiracy theorist for saying, hey, it's just awful odd that just only these young rappers are getting killed. These like guys that been in the game for less than a year or less than 5 years, they're getting plucked off. Why is that? We don't want to conceive that these people managing them view them not as human beings, but intellectual property. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Who viewed us as intellectual property? Huh? Not as human beings? Intellectual property? Meaning they can do whatever they want to you? All for profit? For business? Think about it. Because, with the hot rapper, you got to put them up in a hotel. You got to pay for them and their entourage, get them to different venues. And then newsflash, a whole lot of these record label execs and people in the entertainment industry are white supremacists. They don't like original people anyway. So it's very easy to flip the narrative and make it just look like it's gang culture. It's just the streets of LA. It's just the streets of Chicago. It's just the streets of New Orleans. They're violent in this sector. That's just like saying there's black crime. Crime is crime. The crime rate ain't no higher over in an original people community than in a Caucasian community. What's the difference? Like Caucasian people kill Caucasian people, original people kill original people. Like, what you mean? Spanish people kill Spanish people. What you mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? I just get tired of the easy answer. Like, oh yeah, it was street politics. It was jury. It was jealousy. It's like a formula when these young rappers die. It's just like automatic. All they was hating on him. They was hating on him because he was dripped out. All the time, that's the answer all the time. It can't just be these filthy dogs is killing these young men to get the check. To having these young men killed for that check. Because they're worth more dead than they are alive as an artist. Because think about it. When they get killed, their whole entire catalog goes through the roof. numbers, 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 money, money, money. All their interviews starts going viral, especially if they're signed to a 360 deal. Hits, 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 views, 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 money, 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 merch, 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 RIP, RIP, money, money, money. Because with a new artist, you don't know, the numbers and the sound scan and how much, trillions of downloads they're going to get in a quarter, in a fiscal quarter. You don't know. But you know if they're up out of here, it's going to go through the roof. That's what you know as a businessman, a business person, a greedy person that loves money over human life. That's all the point I was trying to get across that I don't think I got across when I was doing that live about the brother. Because like I said, I never heard of the brother until he got killed. And, I fashioned myself to be a bit of a hip hop aficionado. I can go back to, the foundational members, my knowledge of it. But anyway, I try to stay as current as possible. It wasn't a slight. That's another thing I wanted to apologize for any listeners. It wasn't like a slight or a diss. I wasn't trying to be smart alecky or funny. I just really I didn't hear about him. I didn't know. I didn't know who he was. And I'm honest enough to say I didn't know who he was. Instead of just trying to RIP, he was the next, and oh my God, I can't believe it. He was up next. How did this happen? I didn't know the brother. I'll never do that when online, sit up there and cry and act like I messed with him hard body and I didn't. That was a new one on me. My bad. I didn't know the brother. But yeah, that's all I wanted to clarify with that. So now coming into my speaking point, it's kind of a remixed topic, and it's going to be really short, really brief. It teeters along the line of high value. So my speaking point is standards. Like the psychological effects of, someone rejecting you. And I'm going somewhere with it. I'm bringing it back into the focus of us, but I'm just going to kind of visit different avenues before I get to us as a whole. So just bear with me. Just let the game unfold and, kick back and just draw. All right. In a relationship, when you give somebody your all, they don't want you. You can't convince them. You can't sway them. They don't hit you with well, it's not you, it's me. Or you're just not what I'm looking for. You're not up to my standards. And then you will get butthurt and you'll go through all the emotions and you know what I'm saying? Well, what you need to do is look at the person that rejected you. Who are they to set a standard? I mean, look at their lifestyle. Look how they live, how they carry and conduct themselves. Listen to their conversation. Watch their peers, the people that they hang around. Look at their lives. Look at all that, observe, take all that into your, your mental Rolodex and assess, is this really worth being upset about because this person said I'm not up to their standards? They got some hell of a nerve to say you're not up to their standards. If you think about it, look how they live. I mean, you like what you like. You like what you like. Everybody has a preference. You like what you like, period. And everybody got that freedom. But if you want to feel good about yourself, you can look at them and be like, who the hell are they to reject me, their standards? Like, that's your little silver lining. Like, oh, well, that's the way you release yourself. Next scenario, I'm going somewhere. Hang on. I'm almost there. Just stay with me. Jobs. When an employer decides it's time for the separation process, well, it's not your job performance. You get along with other people. Like, other people are your coworkers. They speak highly of you. It's not your work performance. You perform very diligently. Okay, you're on time. Why am I leaving? Well, you're just not up to our standards. What's their standards? This corporation, before you started working there, they was cutting corners. Since you've been there, you elevated different departments. You did things that weren't on your job description. You was a team player. Whatever the industry, maybe it was a Fortune 5, you done landed that company like numerous accounts. Or if it was like, warehousing or light industrial, you secured the warehouse, you kept the production value up, you came up through the ranks. There wasn't no occupational, like no accidents during your shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, you inspired everybody. You was a team leader. You done rose through the ranks of a team leader. The place was in a shambles before you got there. But they're going to sit across that table and tell you wasn't up to their standards. I'm almost there. Hang on. This is going to be epic. Okay. Neighborhood. Like, sometimes for the homeowners, when you buy your own house, the tenant committee and the people, the nosy people, come, your lawn and your whatever is not up to our neighborhood standards or code enforcement. This corrupt neighborhood, this neighborhood where there's people on methamphetamines, junkies, tweakers walking around, y'all telling me I'm not up to y'all standards? All right, now I'm putting the nail in it. For my brothers and sisters living here in America, we're not up to their standards. We're not up to their educational standards. We're not up to their economic standards. We're not up to their moral standards. We're not up to their intellectual standards. We're not up to their spiritual standards. And my question to all of y'all is, why are we allowing the most despicable, most diabolical, murderous, reprehensible opposition to ever walk this earth even set the standards, telling us we're not up to the standards with these high-end fashion labels? These like high-end fashion designers, they don't even want us wearing their clothes. We're not up to their standards. Why y'all keep buying it? They said we're not up to their standards. They don't want us in their clothes. They don't want us driving those vehicles. We're not up to their standards. We should set our own standards and live to the standards of greatness, of excellence, the standards that molded and shaped this entire planet. We mothered and fathered civilization. Every person on this planet was created in our likeness. We are the standards. So how are you going to tell somebody that's less than the standard you're not up to the standard? That's my question. And just like, yeah, take that in. All right, thank you for listening. That's my time. This has been another live edition of the Narrative Podcast. Please join me this weekend with a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Make sure you download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast to help your brother grow his platform so I can give you a more quality, crisp production value on my podcast. I want to start getting guests and just, really go out for you, but you got to help me grow my platform. Them downloads is life. Download each and every episode that's out right now. The Narrative Podcast hosted by me, Halsey Allen. And then also, please support my podcast or personal poetry blog. It's called Halsey's Poetry Corner. The email address is www.mrhalseysblogs.com. It's on blogger.com, powered by Adam. And the way you support me in that endeavor is just every time you see the link, share it to, whatever your preferred platform is, on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Tumblr, Reddit, whatever you got. Share one of my poems. They're witty, they're creative, innovative. You're sure to identify with the entire poem or a portion of the poem. But, please support that. And I will continue to keep growing my platform. And I'm going to show and prove that I'm for the people. Just watch me. I got all kinds of projects in the wings. The pegs are coming together. I'm fanning out. I'm over 100 episodes in. My audience is growing. So I'm showing and proving. If you've been an avid listener, you know that I don't just be talking out about behind. Like a lot of things that I've prophesied on this platform has come to pass in some capacity or another. So, I'm definitely worth checking out. And you're just going to continue to see my growth. And I'm going to give you, that experience. And, I'm all about that movement. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Narrative Podcast, who've been tuning into me from day one. I appreciate anybody new. They just came up on this podcast on a random scroll. Thank you. So like I said, join me this weekend for a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. And I will see you this weekend. And don't forget to, constantly tune in to wherever you get your podcast from so you don't miss a random live edition of the Narrative Podcast, because I don't never know what days I'm going live. But to avoid missing me when I go live, subscribe to my viewer channel on YouTube, Halsey Allen. Set your notifications so you don't, miss a live edition of the Narrative Podcast. And then follow me on Twitter, Halsey Allen, because I'm broadcasting right now live. So, you'll never, ever miss a live episode of the Narrative Podcast. And thank you for listening to me. Enjoy your evening. Join me this weekend for a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. The Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative, one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. Thank you. Narrative Podcast, Halsey Allen, signing off.
Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.